this is Jeremy. It was several weeks ago. I think it was right after the release of the Palm Pre. I made a video about the Palm Pre, talking about how I thought it was going to fail and everything else. That is one of my most watched and commented videos that I've done so far. A lot of people didn't like that video, didn't like my thoughts on it. I'm going to go ahead and do a new video talking a little bit about that right now. I don't take back anything that I said. A few things that I said were probably, they were kind of taken the wrong way a little bit. As far as me talking about the lines were shorter than everybody expected. A lot of people took that as me saying that it was bad, and that was my reason as saying that it was a bad device. That wasn't me saying that. That was my reasoning behind me saying that it's not as good as what people expected. That was just me saying it's not really living up to the hype that it was first getting when it was announced. Not as much it being good or not good or whatever. So me saying that there were shorter lines than expected had nothing to do with it being good or bad. That was just my way of saying that, yeah, when they first announced it and talked about it, it was this big, huge thing. It was the iPhone killer and all this. But the further it got, it just started losing steam before it was ever released. And then when it was released, nobody really cared about it. On the launch week or weekend, whatever, they had 100,000 devices sold, which isn't bad. It's not great, obviously, but it's not bad. But for the iPhone killer that's supposed to outsell the iPhone, be better than the iPhone, whatever, it got outsold 10 to 1 on its launch week compared to the iPhone 3GS's launch week. And after that, I've read several articles where they expected to sell 117,000 Palm Pres per week. If you only sell 100,000 in your launch week, then you're probably not going to sell that many afterwards. And that has been proven, like I said, and they've only sold on average 25,000 per week, which is almost 1/5 of what they expected to sell. So I'm right. You can hate me for it or not. I don't really care. It's the truth. If you expect to sell 117,000 per week and you sell 25,000, you either got your numbers screwed up, you did some bad research, or it's just a plain failure, and it is so far. And on top of that, I've read many, many reports. I just Googled, and I found at least 5-6 articles in a row, and I only looked through about half a page on Google, saying anywhere between 1/3 and 1/2 of all Palm Pres that are bought are returned. Now, that's not saying all of those they take their Palm Pre back and just say, I don't want another one. But I've read like a lot of reports, people taking back multiple Palm Pres. I've read people saying that they're on their 3rd or 4th one and still don't have one that's any good. Now, I'm not talking about the software. The software on the Palm Pre, it's pretty decent. I will give them that. As far as the multitasking thing and the background and all that, I don't see that as a big deal. I just don't. I mean, outside of like having, like radio in the back, like, XM or whatever, while you're doing other stuff, big deal. But I mean, if that's what you want, you can listen to your iTunes on your iPhone and still text and do other things. So I mean, outside of music running in the background while you're doing other stuff, background apps just don't, I don't see a point in it. It's not like you can text somebody and send somebody an email at the same time regardless. So, whatever. Not to mention, if you jailbreak your iPhone, you can do background apps. I know, because I'm doing it on mine right now. So 1/3, just say 1 in 3. Well, I won't even go as far as half. Say 1 in 3 out of that 25,000 is being returned. It's already dropping, and it's just not gonna do any better, because you can do updates in your software. I mean, you can update the firmware all day, but if your hardware sucks, it's gonna fail. And a lot of people talk to me and left comments, well, dude, you've never even had a Palm Pre, and you've never, messed around with one, so you're just talking shit because you're an Apple fanboy and blah, 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 whatever. All right, yesterday I went up to Best Buy and I played around with one of the Palm Pres, and I will tell you honestly, this isn't my pro-Apple opinion or anything else. This is just me playing around with it. If I didn't know anything about cell phones, I would have grabbed it and thought it was one of the cheapest ones there. People talk about they like it because of the physical keyboard. That is by far the most horrible keyboard I've ever seen on a phone. unless you have the fingers of a 3-year-old, the keyboard on the Palm Pre is pointless. Like, 2 of my fingers covered like half the keyboard. It was a joke. And the hardware is just so flimsy. It's like a fucking little toy. Like, when you slide it out, you can feel it wobble back and forth. And it's got that little, cheese grater thing on the side where you can cut stuff with it. But I mean, unless you're trying to like pick a lock or, chop a wooden door in half, it's a shitty piece of hardware. The software on it, yeah, you put that software on a phone that's actually sturdy, and it's probably not a bad phone. But iPhone killer, no way. I'll just say that. Until they get some decent hardware for that, the operating system just doesn't matter. I mean, it's like buying a keyboard that's got the best or a laptop with the best operating system you've ever seen, but half the keys are missing. Like, what's the point? A decent operating system or not, if you have really shitty, cheap hardware, it's a horrible device. And the Palm Pre is a horrible device on hardware alone. It is junk. Like, I was blown away by how cheap and flimsy it felt. And it felt like I should slide it out and gum should come out of the bottom. Like, my little niece has little toy phones and stuff that feel sturdier than that thing. So, as far as the software, I will give you that. I like the software on the Palm Pre more than I expected. It is comparable to an iPhone. But when you talk hardware, I take my Motorola V60i or whatever it was that I had 5, 6, 7 years ago over that. It's just extremely cheap. So yeah, that's my updated thoughts on it. Hardware sucks, software much better than I expected, and sales are crap. So hopefully you can check out this new video and tell me what you think about my updated thoughts on the Palm Pre.